Welcome in to Extreme Talk, presented by Cornett Performance. Talk a little bit about Cornett Performance, talking about Eli Cornett, former 8-man football player, former college football player, and what he offers is one-on-one and group training. It's speed and agility training. It's football and track focused, and each athlete or client will have their own personal customized program. It's for ages 10 and up. And they do online training sessions. You can reach out to them for scheduling dates and times. I'll give you that info here in a second. They are currently booking, and you can book your free in-person or online 30-minute assessment today. The online one's huge. A lot of people all over, not from Tennessee, and so that one's huge. He does a 45 and 60-minute session. It's $30 a session or per athlete. And you can hit them up on Instagram. It's at Cornett Performance. Or you can shoot them an email, cornettperformance@gmail.com. That's CORNETT, at Cornett Performance on Instagram, or cornettperformance@gmail.com. A big thank you to Eli Cornett and Cornett Performance for sponsoring the show all season long. Let me bring in my co-host. He is a former All-American, a 4-year starter, and in the same boat as me today. Not a great Saturday for our college teams. Mr. Blake Biggs. Well, he was there. Let's see.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. I apologize.
Oh, you're good. I thought it was on my. I thought
yeah.
it was on my end. I was checking the
No.
connections.
I was a little to the audience. This is actually kind of valid. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I just had to, mute myself to, cough some decency.
Hack up a lung.
So I apologize for that. But yeah, James, how are you doing?
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Like, we both lost. Both of our teams lost yesterday. I personally think mine was worse because we saw it coming. I saw it coming. I turned the game off with 5 minutes left. I saw it coming. You can't give up two 90-plus yard drives and a 99-yard pick six and win a ball game. That's not going to happen. I would rather it happen how it happened to y'all, which I'm not wishing a loss on y'all. But if you're going to lose, at least lose how y'all lost.
I don't know about that, because we had a win. I know Kyle Ferry, he missed one field goal today. That was a little bit questionable, but I thought it went up. I thought it was through the uprights. I thought it was good, whatever. I'd much rather live, with a loss by a missed field goal than a stupid interception in a situation like that. I don't understand why we pay a coach $4 million to handle a situation like that. Any 8th grader that plays Madden kicks the field goal.
In that situation,
And this is Billy Napier we're talking about. But he just got fired.
Oh, did he?
He got fired today, yes.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Why would they wait till now? Why would they wait till now after a win?
I don't know. I think they already told him because in the press conference, he was just like, I'm going to enjoy the win, and tomorrow morning I'll worry about the future. And I think he knew.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That game.
I don't know, man. Just the slow burn of knowing the loss is coming, and you still watch and you hold hope, and you're like, maybe we can get something done. Maybe we can make it happen. And just watching chance after chance just get flushed down the toilet. I don't know. Yeah. It's tougher. Anyways, well, speaking of games this weekend, before yesterday's gut punch to both of us, had a ton of action across the Southeast in terms of 8-man and some good games. We're going to roll through our top 5, and then at 3:30 we'll have Coach Josh Elliott from Cary Christian. Big game this Friday night against Arendelle Parrott. Both teams unbeaten. We'll talk to him at 3:30. And at 4 o'clock, first time ever, we'll have Coach Barrett Richard on. He's from JPG down in Louisiana. They got the ACEL championship game this Saturday against Acadiana. And hopefully we'll be able to find a link that we can push out to y'all to be able to watch it. Last year's game was great. Went to overtime. I was so thankful it was streamed or broadcasted rather. But real quick, let's run through our top 5 from last week. Blake, why don't you go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, hang on. I had it pulled up.
You're good.
All right. So the first one I'm going to go with. This is actually pretty surprising. Tampa Slam, 44 to Four Corners Charter, 48 down in Florida. Four Corners 5-1 on the year. Tampa Slam fell to 3-6, but a 5-1 team barely escaped the 4-point win right there, and that was kind of a head scratcher. I knew Tampa Slam's capable of beating good teams, but I mean, Four Corners, their only loss is to I can't remember who they lost to off the top of my head. I can try to pull it up. Yeah, their only loss to Foundation Christian. It was a pretty bad one by 34.
Yeah.
But I mean, winning by 4 to 3-6 team, I did not expect that, James.
No, I didn't either. I looked at that one. That one caught me a little bit. My number 5 game. I'm also gonna start in Florida. Shorecrest Prep and Foundation Christian. Foundation,
Mm.
a team who you mentioned. They've beaten Four Corners. They've beaten Donahue Catholic. That's their only loss of the year. And then Shorecrest Prep started the year 3-0, hit a little skid, and they're kind of back in the saddle now. 22-8 Shorecrest Prep over Foundation. Want to give a couple Shorecrest Prep guys a shout out. Come on, Dent, 24 carries, 164 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Offensively and defensively, DeCedric Dillard, 10 tackles, 8 of them being solo, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Shorecrest Prep gets it done, defending champs. For the I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe like the highest champs, the best champs. I don't know. I don't know how you
The
describe it
goal
with
division.
Ford. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Shorecrest Prep, defending, trying to handle business. Foundation, not a knockoff team either. So they're hitting a little bit of a skid, but still a good ball team. But that's my number 5 game of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So for my next one, I got to go Stewart County on the road at Ezekiel. And they squeak out a 34-20 win right there. Stewart County a little bit on a hot, from what I understood. They pull up their max preps.
I know they
Yeah.
just beat Baker County, right?
No, they beat Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
So they started 0-3, and now they're 3-3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. One of those wins was Baker.
Oh, I thought you said who they beat. Yeah, one of those wins was Baker. Actually, 2 of those wins. Yeah, both wins. They beat Baker twice. They played them twice. They won both those games, and Ezekiel. So, not bad right there.
Nice. My number 4 game of the week, I'm going to go to Alabama, and I'm going to go Macon East and Cornerstone. Macon East getting the 44-38 win. They were unbeaten on the year. Macon East was. Cornerstone coming off that loss to Escambia last week. And I will say Macon East, no stats on max preps, but I do want to give a shout out to one of the Cornerstone young men. Let me make sure they haven't put stats on there yet. I didn't see any. Okay, they haven't. Jaden Dixon for Cornerstone, 12 carries, 195 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Cornerstone. One of the better players Friday night for the Chargers. Really good game, and a shout out to the game tracker, the person doing the live updates. Game tied at 1 after the at 8 after the first quarter. Macon East was up 16-8 at half. Cornerstone came back, scored 24 in the third quarter. Macon East scored 12, so we were tied at let's see, it was 34-28 at the end of the third quarter, and then Macon East 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I think one of them was at the buzzer, maybe. I know it came down to the end of the game, but Macon East stays unbeaten on the season with the 8-0 win, with a 44-38 win over Cornerstone. They are still 8-0, and it's not this week, but the next week. It's a huge matchup between them and Escambia, but that's my number 4 game of the week.
Yes, sir. My number 3 are right here. So I got to go with River Oaks, traveling on the road to Cannon, Mississippi, which is in the Jackson area of Mississippi. Heard there were some rumors about River Oaks being a little beat up, struggling with injuries. But by looking at the score,
Could have fooled
I
me.
mean that, huh?
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, could have fooled me. 41-11. River Oaks, they take care of an 11-man team, believe it or not. Um, and despite, I should say this, despite Canton Academy having a 2-6 record in real life, that counts as a quality win for
Yeah.
River Oaks.
Yeah.
So they'll definitely move up in the rankings. Good win right there by 30.
That was a big one. I think they got a bunch of PowerPoints off that too, if I'm not mistaken. No, it didn't count for PowerPoints. That's right. I forgot about that. My number 3 game of the week. I'm going back to Florida, and I'm going First Academy Leesburg, 30, Geneva Classical 28. Game went to overtime. Um, and again, a shout out to the person doing the game tracking. But I want to talk about it real fast. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. So Geneva Classical jumped out to a 22-0 lead. First Academy touchdown in the second quarter, so it's 22-6 a half. And then 2 touchdowns in the third quarter for First Academy. Pulled them even at 22. No scoring in the fourth quarter. They go to overtime. Geneva Classical scores. I believe Geneva. Let me see. I don't want to get this wrong. Okay, Geneva Classical scored in overtime. Did not get the 2-point conversion, so they're up 28-22. First Academy, race Teat, touchdown, 10-yard touchdown run. They get the 2-point conversion with Logan Stalvey, and First Academy picks up the 30-28 win to move them to 6-3 on the season. Absolute barn burner of a game. I love overtime games. I'm a sucker for a good overtime game. So shout out to First Academy Leesburg with a win, but that's my number 3 game of the week.
Yeah, so for my number 2, I'm going to go Cary at Faith. Cary, the number 1 team. Faith, just coming off a loss, JP2. It's something about Faith, man, in the second half that's just their biggest weakness.
Yeah.
It was 38-30 at halftime, I believe. And me and James, we were kind of talking over the phone when we saw that. We're like, dude, if Faith gets the upset, like, I don't know what we're going to do. And then Cary just shuts them down in the second half. Faith only scored 6 points the rest of the game, and Cary cruises on for the win. And they got a big matchup next week. We'll talk about that later. But
Well, and a big reason for that Cary win, Reed Harvey, 20 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown. And then he was 14 of 20 for 281 yards and 5 touchdowns. Had a QBR of 152.
oh my,
Yeah, huge part of that second half, just kind of blowing the game out, pulling away there in the second half. But that was. I looked at that score at halftime, and I'm like, man, about to be some shakeups. My number 2 game of the week. I'm going to go Jacksonville and Jacksonville Christian. Cornerstone Christian in Alabama. Jacksonville gets the 46-41 win. Just a barn burner of a game, back and forth. For Jacksonville, you had Arnaz Hurd. 5 carries, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then 5 catches for 185 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he had 320 yards of offense and 6 touchdowns for the Thunder. And then, of course, that means Noah Lee with 4 touchdown passes, at least just to Hurd. But then for Cornerstone, I mean, they had 3 guys balling out. Jess Nelson, who's gotten Player of the Week this year, 16 carries, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Colby Harrison had 18 carries for 192 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Brody Barksdale on the defensive side of the ball, 9 tackles, all solo, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, and a pick. I mean, just battling it out. And Jacksonville gets back in the win column. They're on a little 3-game losing streak. Gets back in the win column, handles business, and puts themselves in a good position. I think we're coming down to like the last week of the regular season in CFA.
Yeah.
Maybe the last 2 weeks. So they're really putting themselves in a position to try and get another shot at Russell, who shut them out early this year.
Yeah. And James, I think you forgot to mention this, but it's something with the lights and 8-man, man.
Yeah,
The lights went out.
there was a what I asked about that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did he say? There was a wreck, and so there was like a 20
Mm.
minute delay getting the lights back on.
Oh,
But Jacksonville gets a touchdown from Noah Lee with 59 seconds left. So Cornerstone was ahead up until that touchdown with 59 seconds left and scored.
yeah. It kind of sounds like what was that Super Bowl in New Orleans?
Oh yeah, it was
It was
40. It was like
it was
46, 47, somewhere in there.
yeah, somewhere that range. It was 2012, 2013. Doesn't matter. It's not important.
Doesn't
But
matter.
yeah, no,
San Fran lost. That's all that matters.
yeah, San Fran lost. America wins.
America.
I'm kidding. I have no hate towards the 49ers
I don't like the
whatsoever.
49ers, so just I don't like
Oh well.
Baltimore. I don't like Baltimore either, but anyways.
Yeah.
I did like that Ray Lewis got a Super Bowl on his way out, but anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, well, speaking of wins, Augusta, the Eagles, for my next game, they took on a 9-man team, believe it or not. Yes, I know, 9-man. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. It's
Which actually nine man's huge in Georgia. They've got several teams.
Yeah, they got a couple. I'm trying to think. They took on a 9-man team that was 6-2-1. What? Okay, first off, what are we doing? It's the
I
year's
want
2000. The year is 2025, not 1925. Why do we still have ties in the game of football? It's football, not football.
it could be maybe. Hey, we just talked about the lights. Maybe they have that problem too. Maybe the game was tied. The lights weren't going to come back on, and they were like, "All right, we'll just call it a tie." You never know. It could be what happened.
Don't bring Kanye into this because of all of these lights. Sorry. That was terrible. That was terrible. I'm gonna excuse myself. Anyway, Augusta beats Community Christian of 9-man 20-13.
No, that was good. That was good. Yeah, I was watching that one on 8-Man Extreme Georgia, and I was like, man, they're hanging with these guys, and I
Yeah.
mean, but going into the game, they were 6-1-1. So I'm like, Augusta, who has been an absolute roller coaster. I mean, we're beating teams that they're beating teams they should beat, and then they play until they play Holy Spirit, and then they only beat them last minute. Holy
Yeah.
Spirit having no loss, no wins, and then they're hanging with GSIC, and GSIC beat them, but it's like a roller coaster, man. I'm
They're
telling
the most bipolar team.
you, and I
Yeah.
love them to
they
death. I love all of Augusta, the
Yeah.
Augusta Eagles, but man, watching their games, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So my number one.
I was severely tempting the urge, or resisting the urge not to do the Forrest Gump accent right there.
Do it.
Sorry.
Let's see what you got.
I'm good. I'm good.
All
I'll
right,
pass.
all right. My number one game of the week, I got to do it. I'm going Prairie View Claiborne. Prairie View gets a 32-26 win over Claiborne. Game went to overtime. Just a battle in Mississippi in the MAIS, and that Region 1A4 is tough, man. It's one of the better it's one of the better ones, and of course, Claiborne was unbeaten, has not played River Oaks yet. Prairie View coming off the loss to River Oaks, but Prairie View had a 14-6 lead at halftime. They both scored in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, Claiborne gets 2 touchdowns. Prairie View gets 1, so they go into overtime tied at 26, and Prairie View just gets it done, 32-26 in overtime. It seems to me like Claiborne went first, didn't score, and then Prairie View got a chance to score because then they wouldn't have to score. They wouldn't have to run the 2-point conversion play because they already won. So, but it seems like that's what happened. But real quick for Claiborne rather, I haven't seen any Prairie View stats, but for Claiborne, Dylan Buckner, 9 carries, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns on top of a 33-yard touchdown pass. So he scored all 3 of the touchdowns for Claiborne. If I'm not mistaken, if my math's right, I think he. Let's see. I just looked at it. Hold on. How many touchdowns did they have? They had one, two, three. So they had 4 touchdowns. Buckner scored 3 of them, and then defensively, Maddox Gaston, 11 tackles, all solo, 3 tackles for loss, a sack, and a fumble recovery. But what a great game down in Mississippi, down in the MAIS. And it sets up a huge matchup this week. It would have been bigger if Claiborne wins, but it's still a big game, though. It's
Yeah.
no, it doesn't take anything. I don't think it takes anything away from the game coming up this week
Yeah.
in Mississippi. But we're going to pause talking about games in Mississippi. We're going to jump to North Carolina, and let me get our first guest here on the phone, because this is a big one coming up this weekend, or this Friday night rather. Joining me now is the head coach of the Cary Christian School Knights. They've got the number 1 versus number 2 matchup Friday night. It's the game that will feed families. It's giving 2011 LSU and Alabama vibes. Coach Josh Elliott. Coach, how are you?
Hey, doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good. Right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and get this out there, right? So we're calling, and I've already told Arendelle this, we're calling this the game that will feed families. It's number 1 versus number 2. It's a big game, but I wanted to pitch this to y'all because it's at your place.
Yeah.
What if y'all use that tagline and turn and do like a canned food drive or something? Because call it the game that'll feed families. Then you do a food drive and you donate to a local food bank.
Hey, I mean, it's certainly possible. I can talk to our people. I don't have much to do with that, but I can ask.
There you go. Well, I would assume y'all are going to have a massive turnout, and if everyone brings 1 can of chili, I mean, that's a lot of cans of chili, Coach. Or have coordinate it. Okay, Arendelle, you guys are all coming to the game. Y'all are going to pack out your side, and y'all bring mac and cheese. And our
Right.
our crew, we will all bring cans of chili, and we'll just have a ton of chili mac to donate to the local food bank. I mean, that's a win-win. That's a
great
right
idea.
There.
That's a great idea.
Little marketing, marketing for you.
I appreciate it. We need help in that area.
Well, you might need help with marketing, but you guys are handling business on the field, Coach. Let me back up a little bit. You guys win state last year. Real close game with JP2. Not a walk-off touchdown, but essentially, you just had to run the clock out and handle business.
Felt like it. Yeah.
Right. Through the off season, coming into the season, coming into training camp, the guys that played in that game, do you think they realized the target that was on their back and kind of the level of expectations that they had coming into this season?
I think so. We have a lot of guys coming back. We're just really blessed with tremendous team. We certainly miss our 2 kind of all-state guys from last year, Landon Myers and Braden Ronaldo. But the returning guys, they knew. We knew last year that we had to earn some of that respect, and we were the ones that were gunning for all the big boys, right? The John Paul and Arendelle Parrott, and we talked about it over the summer. We talked about it at camp in July before we started the season. We go away for a couple nights to a local college, and we have our football camp. We talked about it then that the target is on us, and it still is. And you don't 100%. Make it any easier, to be honest. Throwing up your rankings, that does not make it any easier. From our perspective, we really try to take it week to week, especially in big games like this. Arendelle Parrott is, they're the team to beat every year. And, Matt's got such an amazing program. It's really the best program in the state for the last, I don't know how many years he's been there, like 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
But they are the creme de la creme of North Carolina 8-man football. And so, some of that makes it a little bit easier for us this week to really turn our mindset to, these guys are coming after us. We got to come after them. But yeah, we know we're getting the targets on our back. We get everybody's best punches. I get it. And that showed this last weekend or this last week when we played Faith.
Yeah.
And Faith came out. It was a great game. He's got Jeremy's got a great team. They got tons of athletes. They're very physical. And, we kind of took it on the chin to start the game, but we kind of rallied and showed our resilience. And that was pretty exciting to see. And that's what this team is. We're experienced. We're not the most talented team, but we work hard. We're a great team that works together.
I love the I wouldn't say a little bit love fest on Twitter or X, whatever. You and Coach Beeman, y'all talking a little bit, and you're like, well, you guys have this hard of a schedule. You guys have this hard of a schedule. Talking back and forth. I love it. I love to see it. I'm going to preface this. I don't want a Coach Speak answer on this. And maybe Coach Speak is the honest answer to this. But as you're going through the year, you guys are playing Pack and Sandhills and JP2 and Faith, and you're trying to line up, make sure everybody's ready. You're getting everybody's best punches. In the back of your mind, are there little things you're doing throughout the year to prep for this game?
For this game?
This game in particular.
No.
Fair enough.
No. We got to play our game. I mean, we haven't played a great game yet. We have not played to our ability yet. So I feel like if we can play to our ability, we're going to be competitive with anybody that's on our schedule. And we have been able to play some decent teams this year. We'll go out and try to schedule. We didn't know Richard Wynn was going to have a down year. We didn't know Pack was going to maybe be a little bit more down than what they usually are. But that's what we want to do. We want to play the best teams. If we want to be the best, we want to play the best and make sure that we are, measuring up to that. And so that's what we tried to do, and I think that's helped us, right? I think that's helped us, especially to get to this point. Again, 2 great games, one against John Paul, homecoming. That was a fantastic game. And then last, Friday night against Faith. I expect this game to be all of that and hopefully a little bit more. But if we play our best, then I'm pretty confident, we'll feel good about ourselves. The funny thing about football is probably different than many sports. You can play your best and still lose, right? Yeah. And in football, it's that way, right? Yep. Whether there's a little mistake here, there's a referee call there, whatever it is. So, but yeah, we're excited. We're excited about the opportunity.
My co-host Blake Biggs, I think he's got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. Big game coming up this week, of course. But let's backtrack a little bit to earlier on in the season. Obviously, first 2 games on the road in South Carolina. It's actually kind of funny because I was watching a YouTube video. I did a quick YouTube search. And I found a video of highlights versus Pack. And in the video, one of your coaches said, and I got to ask about this. He's like, this seems – we're in South Carolina, long drive. Let's put some respect on North Carolina. And I was wondering because, I'm from Tennessee, and we kind of get the same deal where it's like West Tennessee hates East Tennessee, East Tennessee hates West Tennessee, and everybody just hates Middle Tennessee, right? Talk about that dynamic a little bit, just between North Carolina and South Carolina when it comes to the game of 8-man and just football in general.
Well, I don't think that there's a lot of that. I mean, I think it's more fun than actual, hatred. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think it's more fun. I talked about it like the Battle of the Carolinas or whatever. I think it's fun. But a lot of teams, we don't play each other. We rarely play. And that's one of the things, we rarely play outside of our states. Right.
I would say y'all probably play more Virginia teams.
Yeah, some people in our conference play Virginia teams. Yeah. And again, it's hard. Everybody has conference and association schedules that are different. Start dates, non-conference dates, season start dates, playoff dates, all those things are different from state to state. And so, our thing, or my thing this last year was that we were just scrambling for games. Our conference went from 12 teams down to 5, or 6, and so we were scrambling to find games. And so I reached out to South Carolina, Pac in particular. I think we're going to get to play Pac again this next year.
Nice.
They'll come up to our place. But yeah, there's not really bad blood between the states. I think I don't know many other North Carolina schools that play South Carolina schools. I mean, that's just not something I've heard a lot about. We've gone in there a couple times now, and it's a long drive.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a long drive, but this next year we're gonna try to up the ante again. We've got Pac Panthers, I think, on the schedule, and we're going to try to get Brunswick on the schedule as well from Virginia.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what else we can fill out.
There you go. I want to ask you, Coach. I mentioned the championship last year, the season you guys had last year, and I want to ask another off-season question, and it bleeds into the season. Who are some guys that maybe through the off-season, going into this season, you said, you know what, I think they can step up, and they absolutely have. You talked about a lot of the guys that were coming back, right? Guys like Reed. But who are some of the guys that maybe didn't have as featured of a role last year and have really, really stepped up to handle business this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, we just have a great team. I mean, we've got 21 guys on our team. Fortunately, lost Jaden Elkins to ACL, surgery. He was one of our starting defensive ends as a sophomore. He would be one of those guys that we were hoping for big things this year. We lost him, about a month ago. Outside of that, I mean, all our sophomore class is basically all contributing, in different ways. And so that's exciting to see. Our junior group are just, but I think the one thing as a coach is to see all these players just continue to get better and better and better every year. And I've been really fortunate, good and bad. We had to start, some of our current seniors started as freshmen, right?
Yeah.
So to see them grow, from like an Andrew Smirsky, a Reed, even a Philip Wentz, my son Sam Elliott, these guys are just growing every year. And then it seems like every year, that's what you want to see, right? We always talk in the off season about getting, bigger, stronger, faster, right?
Right.
And I think that's kind of what these guys did. And that was really a testament to them and their dedication to working themselves in the off season to get in a better spot and get in a better position. And I think it shows. I mean, we're really we're pretty strong pretty much at every spot. It's hard, and that's been just a huge blessing. We don't have a lot of weaknesses on the team. Our offensive line has gotten stronger and stronger every year. Sam LeVake, Ethan Garris, our defensive line. We got big Mike Allen there in the middle. Sophomore Matthew Maxwell. He's really come along. Harrison Judd, who, this last year struggled a little bit with some injuries and hasn't played a lot of football. And even this year had concussion the first 4 or 5 weeks. Now he's become one of our best defensive linemen. So, and then we get somebody back this year who was really exciting for us, Grant Bevins. Grant played for our JV team. I think it was like in 7th grade, and the dude was a complete dominant player on JV as a 7th grader.
Wow.
And then he went and played golf and, I did all the other things. Yeah, he went out and played golf, basketball, and all these other. And so then this year he comes back as a senior, and now, he starts both ways for us. So, we're blessed. We've got great players. We got great coaches. We got, we're just really blessed all the way around.
You started at Cary as head coach in 21, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You get to Cary, and over the last, I had to do some math, 4 or 5 years. 5 years.
This is year 5.
Year 5, yep. What are some of the things that you had to do as head coach when you're building a culture of a team that makes the playoffs every year, wins championships, doesn't lose many ball games? What if because a lot of young coaches, any young coaches listening to the show, When you come into a new situation, what are some of the things that you found were successful in terms of building a winning culture, and even a culture that expects to win because they put in the work to do so?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, first of all, I'm kind of, I would say I'm along for the ride, but I mean, I feel like there's definitely, like, I stepped into a situation kind of at the right time.
Yeah.
We did some things that, I think were needed for football to be, to have a little bit of an identity at the school. And part of that is defining your culture and then maintaining it and growing your culture. And your culture is what you allow, right? It's not necessarily what you put on a board. What you put on a board is what you want it to be, but that's not necessarily what it is, right? So I think even for me this year, I'm not calling plays this year for the first time, and that's kind of my job, is to kind of be like a culture guy.
Yeah.
Both on JV and varsity. But I'd say the other part about, building a program, and I was really fortunate again. I started on the JV level, and we decided we were going to build on the JV level in order to have, something down the road with varsity. And so I think that's sometimes a little bit lost, but you've got to really invest in your JV program for the varsity to have kind of, I would say, sustaining success. And once again, I've been super fortunate. Our JV coach right now has lost one game in 5 years.
Wow.
Brian Elkins. I mean,
Wow.
Our JV team this will be their 6th year in a row. If they win on Thursday, it'll be their 6th kind of conference/state championship in a row. They've got great coaches. So a lot of it is who you put around you as a head coach. That's the thing every year for me. I'm always on the hunt for dads and coaches that are going to make us better. And I feel like that's been a success of ours, really for the last 4 or 5 years. And we've had some turnover in our coaching staff as well, but God has really just given us a lot of great men. And those are the men that, help your culture succeed, right? Because those are the role models, right? Those are the guys where you're saying character matters and effort matters and how you do things matter. And they're not just saying it, but they're living it out.
Right.
And they're investing in these young boys, both at the JV and the varsity level. So I think, having good coaches is another just critical component of that.
It's huge.
And I would
Sorry, go ahead.
And the last thing is just kind of like recruiting your own school. I spent a lot of hours, especially early on in my, JV years and even my first varsity year, begging kids to play football.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing, please come and play. You're not doing anything else. And they look at you and they're like, I'm 15 and I'm going to say no because I just want to, But the other part of that is if you do get some success, like we've been able to have, winning is also contagious, right? And so, we've had more kids want to come play, more kids interested, more parents want to, support what we're doing because we're winning. And winning is just a byproduct of kind of the process that we've tried to create.
Blake, I think you had a question for Coach.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That actually goes perfectly into my next question. So we started in 21. Obviously, there was looks like y'all won a state championship, if I'm correct on that. And then 22, 23, 10-10 record. Obviously, last year you win a state title, and this year you're 7-0, sitting number one in our model. Talk about what went into the turnaround from between 22 and 23 until now. What if you could tell a coach who's trying to turn around a program what to do and what advice you would give him, what would it be?
Kind of how to get over that hump a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of those things I just kind of mentioned. Some of it is just don't compromise with what you're trying to do. In terms of your values, in terms of your culture, right? And even if it's hard, like we went through a couple of difficult years, we had, some chances, but we didn't really have a lot of the guys. But we didn't have men, right? And that's the difference between last year and, a couple of years ago and then last year and this year. We've got a core group of real men. 17 and 18-year-olds is a much different – they play much differently than your 15 and 16-year-olds generally, right? So some of it is staying the course. And again, a lot of it is don't compromise your values and your culture, and just keep trying to get better. The off season, I would say I spent a lot of time. My wife would say I spent a lot of time, and still do in the off season, and trying to get weightlifting going, and spring practice and summer practice, and that's stuff that a lot of, in fact, most coaches and programs do, but it can be a little bit of a challenge depending on your school culture. And we're part of a school where there's a lot of people gone most of the summer on vacations and stuff like that, and we had to fight a little bit against that and learn how to adapt. And but it's still in these kids, the value of doing things in the off season. Why that's important. I think off-season stuff is critical to your in-season success. I think most good coaches would understand that as well. But and again, we've been really fortunate to have the numbers. When you have 7 or 8 upperclassmen, 7 or 8 seniors, and then another 7 or 8 juniors, and another 7 or 8 sophomores, that's what you need at 8-man football to be, to have that sustained success.
Yeah.
Right. You got to have the bodies, and that's hard.
Yeah.
At small schools, right? And most schools, they do have those ebbs and flows. You have even, you guys know about our conference this year. Rocky Mount couldn't field a team, and they had a bunch of seniors this last year, and then all of a sudden couldn't field a team. Halifax, same thing. Tried to have a season, played 3 or 4 games, and then had to cancel the rest of their season. So it's hard. It's hard when at these small schools to have that sustained success. And it comes from, again, I think, doing a lot of that recruiting, making sure you have the right numbers of guys, and really investing on the younger side of things so that your future is solid.
Well, and to back up to the answer you gave me about the coaches, I think it's huge too. When you have a coaching staff that it's not do as I say, not as I do, that they're able, the kids can see how they live, and they can see that, hey, this is the example of how I live. I'm not just being told what to do. I'm being shown what to do. That's huge, and I think that word travels too amongst kids. And it says, hey, down at the football program, these guys aren't slack offs. They know what they're doing, and they're actually showing us how to do it, and showing, they're backing up their words with actions, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we have, and I haven't talked to my kids about this in a while, but we have 3 main values that I've been trying to preach for the last few years: commitment, work, and love. And, it starts from the coaching staff. If you don't have a coaching staff that's committed, that's not going to, work hard in their own, in their own job, so to speak, and then turn around and also love the kids, love each other, love the kids, I mean, then that's a message that's going to get lost on the kids. They're not going to commit. They're not going to commit. If you're not showing up to spring practice, then they're not going to be there. Why would they need to come there, right? If coaches can't come and stuff. And all of our coaches are volunteers. Right. Yeah. So, again, we're really blessed to have that community of coaches as well. That's really been a driver of, I think, some of our success.
A very successful season that you guys are having, and obviously I'm gonna go out on a limb and say there's not a ton of regrets or things that you would change. Maybe that's a better way of putting it, but is one of them not having Jake Cesars on the team? I don't even know if I said his last name right, but I mean, Coach, can you imagine throwing him in there on top of all the studs you've got? That would have been huge.
I would be lying if I said that we don't talk about it. I love myself some Jake, affectionately named Smiles.
Stud baseball player, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolute
stud. Jake Caesar is a fantastic baseball player. I believe recently committed to the Naval Academy.
Yep.
Super excited for him. But yeah, we miss him. He still comes around. You know, he's really good friends with a number of guys on the team. He's still around a lot. I think we could say, you know, he obviously was a game changer as a sophomore, and yeah, of course we miss him. But we've missed a couple of guys. We've had a number of guys leave over the years, and we can look back and think, man, how good. We might even be better if we had some of these other guys. But that's what it is. You know, every year you go through some level of adversity. Some level of regret. You know, nothing was going to change Jake's mind about playing baseball, though. So, and he's obviously God's given him a lot of great talent to go do that. So we're excited for him.
Yeah, no doubt. Blake, I think you've got one more question for Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Just want to run a hypothetical by you. So I'm going to let you call your shot here. Money's not really an issue here, but you can pick anywhere in the South to go and play an 8-man team. It could be Alabama, it could be Arkansas, it could be Virginia. Who you playing and why?
I mean, I have no idea, bud. I really have no idea. I really, you know, what Andrew's doing up in Gatlinburg is pretty fun with the Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl stuff. I mean,
it's huge.
I think I'd like to see us maybe go back up there at some point again. Maybe do it a little bit differently. Not be up there with such a young team against, you know, a stud Evangel team that, you know, they just ran over everybody that year. That was just ridiculous. I feel like they should have been playing 11-man. Like, it's like, come on, you shouldn't be playing 8-man football with, you know, 45 guys and that kind of level of talent. But anyway,
and it's crazy. You talk about the ebbs and flows. So they have those years, and then they have this year. So it's you know, you were talking about it, the ebbs and flows a little bit.
Yeah, and just from my perspective, like I said before, we want to play the best teams, and I don't like it when we have to schedule teams that you know, are struggling, or, you know, we're just trying to get a game in, and we kind of know that they're a struggling program, and it's going to be, you know, I hate to say it, you know, it's going to be 40-0 at halftime, and I'm putting in the end of my bench trying not to score, and they're getting ticked off that we're scoring, even though I'm trying not to score. But I can't tell my guys to take a knee in the third quarter, right? Those are not fun games for anybody, right? Yeah. And it doesn't really help you either. So if you guys think that there is a school that we need to play down south, you just let us know, and we'll try to make it happen.
I mean, I would love to see. I mean, you could fantasy book it. Sherwood, Brunswick, JPG. I mean, any of the teams, I would say like top 5, top 10. There'd be some good matchups. But Black Bear Brawl's huge, and getting to put some of those teams together.
Like I said, I mean, we're going to play Pack next year, and I've already talked to Andrew at Brunswick. It sounds like we're going to play Brunswick too. So we've got two, and two of probably the top 10. So we'll see.
Nice. I don't remember if I asked you this last year, but are you a pregame or post-game meal kind of guy? And then what's your go-to?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I would say until this year I was both.
Fair enough. Same.
I mean, both. What are you talking about? But, no, this year I'm trying to do a better job not eating past 8 o'clock. So I'm trying not to eat after the game. But we have a pregame meal that I'm with the boys. We all eat pregame meal. We usually have like a Mediterranean style, pretty healthy pregame meal. And so that's what we end up doing.
There you go. No, I didn't know. A lot of some coaches, we ask that question, they go, "Oh man, I don't eat before the game," or after the game, "Man, I'm too busy. I'll go ahead and eat before the game." You know, there's a variety.
Yeah.
But hey,
I've had some coaches like that. Oh, I can't eat before a game. We get, I'll be in the bathroom right before kickoff. You know, if I eat, and I'm thinking, and I look at them like, wait, it's just 8-man football. You know, right? No disrespect, but I mean, it's just a little bit of 8-man high school football. So, but we take it serious enough for sure.
Do you think the guys? Last question for you. Do you think the guys realize, or maybe it'll take this week? Do you think they realize how big this game Friday is?
I mean, if they're listening to this interview, then they might. But I mean, I don't feel like. our goal is to be 1-0.
You should.
I
You
mean,
should,
that's
Coach,
and
you
I
should,
know
you
that
should
coaches
offer them.
speak and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game doesn't really mean, what we've done so far doesn't mean anything. All that matters is what's going on Friday.
Fair enough.
And honestly, as much as it matters, it really even doesn't matter that much because it's not in the playoffs yet. So, I mean,
right.
we still have a long way to go. We've got 2 more regular season games and then potentially 3 playoff games. And we know that we still have our best football ahead of us. And so that's what we're focused on. We're focused on, doing the little things right. We're focused on, playing our game, putting in a good week of practice. We had these 2 weeks off, which I think is one of the reasons why against Faith we were a little out of sync at times.
Right.
Although our offense I think was doing pretty well against Faith, but yeah, I mean it's a big game in the sense that the big bag gorilla, 800-pound gorilla is coming into town. And we got to defend home field, right? And that's our big thing. It's defend home field and make a statement and don't just let the scoreboard do the talking.
There you go, Coach. I appreciate you coming on. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And I'm still trying to figure out if there's a way to watch or at least keep a live track of what's going on Friday. So we're gonna have to figure that out. I want to.
We do have live stream through Huddle Fans, so
okay, all right.
That'll be available to the public.
That might be the way to go.
You go to our Huddle Fan site. So
there you go.
All right,
Coach. I appreciate
Thanks,
you.
James.
Thank you.
All right, take care, guys.
We'll
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bye.
It's Coach Josh Elliott from Cary Christian School, currently our number 1 ranked team and has been since the rankings came out. They've stood there, so handling business. Always good to talk to him. Blake, coach is he's locked in, but I mean he's not wrong. It's not the playoffs, but it could be a preview of the championship.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out, James, is he could be playing the freaking 49ers or the Cowboys or the Chiefs or the New York Giants that next week, and I think it's a good quality that he has. Like I said, he could be playing a really good team that next week, and then he's just like, I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to go 1-0. I don't care who we match up against. I'm trying to think of the term nonchalant, I think is what they call it. That's yeah. I had a really good.
But it's a good nonchalant though. It's like hey, we're gonna handle business.
Yeah, and little quick backstory here. But I remember my freshman year, we went to go play a game in Birmingham for a tournament, and we went up against 2 Auburn commits and an Ole Miss commit on the mound, and our baseball coach said, this isn't the freaking Yankees. Like they put pants on same way we do, one leg at a time.
Yeah.
And we went out and we almost won that game. It was like 2-1. So like that's a good quality to have as a coach right there, and I strongly amend that.
So the end of the story is y'all still lost.
Hardly.
Fair
Hardly. I don't know if you remember Will Hugley. He dropped the game ceiling pop fly. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate Coach Elliott coming on, and I want to go ahead and get our next guest fired up and ready to go for the first time ever on the show. Joining me now, let me get this merged. Joining me now is the head coach of the John Paul the Great Academy Knights. The Knights, who have not lost a game since 2021. Coach Barrett Richard. Coach, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, but we're the Guardians.
The Guardians. Oh, gosh. I saw the Knight helmet, and I knew it was Guardians, and I had a brain cramp. I apologize. I knew
That's all
that.
right. I made a mistake one time. Anyone could do it.
Fair enough. Well, obviously, your team hasn't made too many mistakes. Not this year, at least. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the last couple of years, but at least this year, I mean, you're 10-0. You're rolling through games, Coach. Right off the bat, I want to ask you, whenever you guys are winning and winning big, because we just had Coach Josh Elliott on from Cary in North Carolina. They're also unbeaten. But I want to ask you, when you're rolling through games, you're winning games, you're handling business. When you know, obviously they say winning cures all. Is it harder to find maybe the little things that you need to tweak as a team or as a coaching staff, um, or you know, or is that something you guys are always looking at with when you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, dealing with young players, and when I say young, I mean in the high school sense.
Right, right, right.
Freshmen or sophomores, they have a little more trouble if they haven't met a challenge on the field or what have you. Typically, more experienced players at some point have been challenged, so they understand the need to continue to prepare. And it's kind of that, and a lot of it'll come from the veteran leadership, right? You want those team captains, what have you, saying, "Hey, we got to work. We got to prepare." The coaches are saying it, but it's good for them to hear it from their captains.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Um, Speaking of those team captains and those leaders, I want to ask you, coming from last year, obviously another unbeaten season. You win the championship. Going through the off season, going into training camp, who are some of the guys that you looked at and go, I'm looking forward to seeing this guy step up, and who are some of the guys that stepped up into those leadership roles?
Oh, we have, one guy coming back from an injury is Riley Lorman,
Okay, yeah,
and he's been I've been knowing Riley since he was 5, if not younger.
wow,
Our school is unique because we see him from kindergarten through senior year.
yeah,
Um, so we knew him coming. He's a football player through and through. He loves it down to his core. We knew he was going to be a leader out there, and then had a returning quarterback, Daniel Charpentier, who same thing, sets an example on the field. We only have one senior, and his name is Jacques Odenay, and those are my 3 captains, the 3 guys I just named. Again, been with us since he's been playing football for JPG since he was in 7th grade. Always been dedicated. He's a lineman. He's O-line and D-line. He does all the dirty work, so to speak. Yeah, I knew those guys were kind of the nucleus of the team, and there's other guys. I mean, but they're
well, that's what I'm
they're kind
asking.
of
Like, is there somebody that maybe wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Like a highlighted player last year, maybe somebody that stepped up and really kind of took over this year.
weren't too surprised by anyone. I mean, we expected a lot of guys to play well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, some of the sophomores, too young. To answer your question, my 2 young tackles who are sophomores,
Yeah.
they've really played extremely well given their age and this being the first year that they're starters. It's Luke Kramer and Jacob Angel. I've been really proud of them. I would say they probably outperformed my expectations. They've done really well.
Nice. Good deal. Good deal. Well, I think my co-host Blake has a question for you.
Sure.
Blake, what you got?
Hi, Coach. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. So, okay, if I'm correct, I'm just looking at your max preps on this. Coach, y'all have had probably the biggest win or the longest winning streak in 8-man football. This probably just shows my age right here, but according to max preps, last game y'all lost was in 2021 when I was a senior in high school. Yeah. And, you hadn't lost since then. Just kind of go into detail about what the culture, what the team has been like, and what have y'all changed to keep this win streak going since that last loss?
Well,
Or what have
we
you
haven't
not changed?
Yeah, we haven't changed much. Not to get on a tangent, I come from a strength coaching background, And there was a famous strength coach that I learned from and followed who he always talked about, getting so in the weight room, it's kind of easy to measure this, but if you can add just a little bit of weight to the bar every workout, and it doesn't have to be much, it could be a pound, pound and a half, what have you. But over time, those little improvements, the cumulative effect is great, obviously, right? You do that for a year, you got a lot more weight on the bar. That approach has always affected me, and it's kind of permeated the way I coach the team. And I'm always asking them that every practice, we want to get a little bit better. A saying we have at practice is we don't come to practice just so coach don't yell at us. You come to practice to get a little bit better. Sometimes, it's not much.
Yeah.
But man, it's like saving money, right? Over time, it ends up being something, and we really focus on that. So I guess it's focusing on the preparation, focusing on getting a little bit better, and looking for games to just be a result, of that reality of us trying to get better and better and better, and then we go into the game, and let's see what happens. That it should be a result of our hard work.
Coach, do you ever make the guy? It's a little bit different question. Do you ever make the guys run when a team when you're on Monday when your opponent score on Friday? I feel like your team plays like there's some laps coming at practice if you give it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm looking through and I'm like, man, there's not a lot of points scored against.
No, we don't.
No,
We don't
no,
do that.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I was just an observation. No, I wanted to ask you about the conference. Obviously, this year. Several new teams jumping in, Mid-State, Freedom Life, and kind of adding to the competition level there in the conference. But when you're playing a team home and home, right? Which you guys do, most of your opponents is a home and home. What are the different approach? What's the different approach to the first time you play a team versus the second time? Because obviously you don't want to give everything away that first time. You don't, but then again, when you play a team like home and home, it's not like you're playing them back-to-back weeks. So teams change from the first time you play them to the second. So I want to talk about that approach a little bit, Dylan, because there's not many conferences that do that where they play conference games twice.
Right. Yeah. And like this year we'll play ACS, a very good football team, Acadiana Christian School.
Yeah.
We're going to play them in the championship, and that's going to be 3 times this year we play them.
It's like the third year in a row that's happened, right?
As a coach, you don't love that, but it is what it is.
That's the third year in a row that's happened, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, they're a great ball. They're a great ball club. A ton of respect for them. Well, we don't change much. We're a split back veer team, so we don't change too much on offense.
Okay.
Defensively, there could be a lot of changes based off of what we see on film. We try to get the best film we can, look at it, see what they're trying to do. And, so there could be significant defensive changes, or there may not be. That's typically where a ton of adjustments will happen when they happen. Offensively, we kind of, split back veer teams. They kind of do what they do.
Yep.
And we naturally have some plays that we do go over. If they're shutting these things down, then this is what we go to. But I always tell my team, the better we are, the fewer plays we need.
Yeah. Well, and that's what that's I was mentioning the preparation side of it because that's huge. Whenever and like you said, defensively is probably we're going to make the most adjustments. But no, I was just curious about that. I do want to go back. I will ask you about the championship last year. One of the closest games you guys have had in a long time. And if folks didn't get a chance to watch it, it was broadcast live. I'm kicking myself because I don't remember the media outlet. I think it was 446 Sports, something like that. But
That's
I got a chance to watch it. One of the closest games you guys have had in a long time. And obviously you guys have played several games where it's there's the mercy rule involved, and this game was not.
No.
as a coaching staff, I'm sure you guys have been in close games, but these kids that have not maybe been in a close game and kind of had to dig and find that next gear. In a game like that, what are the kind of what are the kind of things that you're talking to the kids about in a dogfight like that, just a knockdown drag out battle?
That was a in my opinion, that was a great football game.
It was one. It was great.
Well, what we were doing in that game, I can talk about that particularly. I mean, we were making minor adjustments based off of what we were seeing.
Yeah.
I didn't have a guy in a booth back then. I didn't have any eyes in the sky per se. But this year I do, and man, that's been nice. This is the first year I've ever had a guy up in the booth being able to relay information to me.
Yeah. It's a game
so,
changer.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of defensive adjustments. I mean, ACS was playing some ball, man. They were there to win, and it's coaches say this all the time, but man, it's so true, and it's important for your young men when they're in a dogfight like that. Hey, one play, get this play right,
Yeah.
then we'll worry about the next play. We're gonna, hey, this is what's happening. Get this play right, execute this play, then we'll worry about the next one. We're not even gonna worry about the school board, okay? Get the next play correct.
Yeah.
And look, and then let them know, hey, some of them we're gonna mess up. It's okay. Beautiful thing about football, right? You got about 30 or 40 seconds to redeem yourself if you mess up.
Yep.
And they got to realize that, hey, you're gonna make a few mistakes. The goal is we got to win more than we lose, right? It has to go our way more than it doesn't. And if that happens, our outcome will probably be a good one.
Blake, I think you had another question for Coach.
Yeah, Coach. So I'm kind of an X's and O kind of guy myself, and I'm kind of glad you brought it up earlier, how you're kind of like a veer and shoot kind of style offense. I'm not very familiar with y'all's league. A lot of people in other areas are also not familiar with the kind of league y'all have. Talk a little bit about the different offenses and defenses styles that you have to play in your league.
Oh, we see a lot. ACS is a good example, man. They give us a ton of formations, a lot of stuff to think about. But I guess you'd say most of them are some variant of the spread. Not ACS. They do a lot of stuff. I wouldn't call them a spread team. But the other teams are more or less some version of that. So you see a lot of stuff, and that can be tough to deal with from a defensive game plan perspective. Trying to think what else to say there. I mean, there's a lot.
What about defensively? What do y'all run into a lot defensively?
That's a good question. So being a veer team, that's one of the big disadvantages. You're not going to get a team-based defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what you see them run on film against other teams, you're typically not going to see when they line up against you. So that's kind of a guessing game.
Yeah.
We practice against all fronts is what we do. Then we'll see everything from 3 down to 5 down to 6 down, and we try at practice to do work against all those fronts and know our assignments against all of them. And oftentimes they'll change during the game what kind of front we're getting, or depending on where we are on the field. What we've been seeing a lot of is a lot of cutting. They'll cut my old linemen. We see a lot of that, and it's illegal, so There's not much you can say about it. But it seems to be against veer teams, and they have some veer teams in our area that are very good football programs. I go and watch them, and they're getting it too, right? They're kind of teams that will cut you, then they'll crash the ends, and then they'll scrape their backers over the top. So we're seeing a lot of that, but we have ways to deal with it,
Handle business. No, Coach, I wanted to ask you another conference question. I mentioned your conference where you guys play home and home, and you really just uh, play the teams in your conference, and it's been like that for quite a while now. Y'all have a lot of good teams there in Louisiana. Your the River Oaks, the Claiborne, the Prairie View. They're in the MAIS. A lot of good ones there. Um, and I'm not asking you to speak for the conference, but I want to get your opinion on it. Is that something that you would like? It's where they could maybe open up a couple dates now that there's some good competition there. Open up a couple dates and let y'all maybe play some of these other teams that are having pretty good years, just to almost like a measuring stick for you guys.
Yeah, I'm very interested in it. In fact, I've talked to the coach for River Oaks a couple of times, and he's a good guy. We tried to schedule a game. What kind of happens, and I think this happens to a lot of teams in our conference, is our kids. So many of them play other sports, and once the season's over, we gotta let them go. We gotta let them go and practice basketball or soccer, or whatever else they're playing. It's really hard for us to get a extra game during the season, right in the middle of the season. So if I would do anything, or if I'm able to do anything, it'd be either before our season, but our season starts very early,
Yeah, you guys
mid-August.
are like first week of August, yeah, or second.
Yeah, or it'd have to be after our season. And typically we're in the postseason, so our season's already being extended 2 weeks. So by the time our season's over, basketball, I think, starts the next week.
Mm. Mm.
And they hadn't been. So that's kind of what we run into. It's just a logistics thing. I know River Oaks would love to play us, and we'd love to play them. And it's just finding a way to work with the timing that's been the big issue, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, I would love to see some dates open up because like I said, again, you guys don't play everybody home and home. I'd love to see a couple of those dates open up, but I know that's a conference side of it. Figuring that out. Um, if I'm correct, right? That's the conference side of it, where they're
Yes,
saying y'all have to play home and home. Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. So I would love to see it, and just kind of see a little bit of that crossover. And I guess that kind of plays into my next question. I'm not a big. I think basketball should start after Thanksgiving. That's just me. That's where I am. But with the dominance that you guys have had at handling business, would you say basketball is the biggest holdback to, or kind of hindrance to maybe going and playing in the Florida tournament, or picking up another game? I know you mentioned it before with River Oaks, but what are the chances that at some point during this run of dominance we get to see the Guardians? See, I got it right that time. The Guardians in Florida.
I think the chances of us playing River Oaks are way better than us playing the tournament in Florida.
Fair enough.
From a
Fair enough.
logistics perspective. I'd say, I can't speak for our administration, so I'd say there's about a 50-50 chance. And we've tried one. It was close. It was close to us having a game, and it just fell apart because of scheduling. And they're a real good ball club. I watched some of their film. They got a ton of talent. I think it'd be a very tough game for us. But yeah, we'd love to. My guys want to do it.
Really?
They're ready. They're chomping at the bit. But they're the same guys who play other sports.
Right.
So it's kind of,
right.
hey guys, I gotta let y'all. I wouldn't say it's basketball either. A lot of them play soccer.
That's fair. I didn't even realize soccer started that early.
It does in our league.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mix. You get both, and they were a busy school. It's a very tight schedule.
Yeah.
As you can tell. So.
Yeah. No doubt. Blake, I think you had a question for Coach.
Oh, yeah, Coach. I know you said earlier that you would love to play River Oaks. Is there any other team out there that you'd like to get a shot at?
Well, River Oaks comes to mind just because they're in state, and we've spoken. I haven't watched any of the other teams that are ranked. I haven't had time to you guys put the rankings out, and that's awesome. So they're what I'm trying to say is they're very new. So I hadn't had time to look up or really watch film on other teams, not during the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
So I don't have anyone in mind. River Oaks, it's a Louisiana thing, and they're relatively close to us. I know there's some ranked teams in Mississippi and Alabama, and that's not too far.
Right. Right.
You
Arkansas. I mean,
know,
Arkansas's got some good ball. I mean, you guys, where you were at, like I said, you always got Claiborne. You got Briarfield. You got Prairie. Couple options there. But again, the schedule has to line up to make it happen.
right? Yeah, at the very least, I'd like to, during the summer we could get a scrimmage with them or something,
There you go.
which isn't
Yeah.
a game.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Right.
that'd be perfect. Um, are you? I asked Coach Elliott this. I ask a lot of coaches this, but are you more of a pregame or a postgame meal kind of guy? And then, what's your if you could have a pick, what's your choice in terms of the meal?
Did you say? Excuse me. Did
Are,
you
are
say meal?
Yeah, are you a pregame or postgame meal kind of guy? And then, if you had your choice of meal, what would it be?
Well, I'm Cajun, as you can probably tell, so
Right,
we like to
right,
eat.
fair.
Uh,
I had to
typically
ask. I
before.
didn't want to assume, Coach. I had to ask.
It's funny. Um, the pregame meal. Some believe it, I don't want to eat a huge meal, so it's actually kind of lighter. It's kind of funny. I'll eat like 2 yogurts and an apple or something. Uh, these high protein yogurts, man. Kids don't know how good they got it. When we wanted protein growing up, you had to scarf down something that was disgusting.
Yeah.
And now you go to the store and they have these, Okios high protein yogurts, but I'll eat 2 of them and an apple, and it's to me it tastes really good compared to what I used to have to drink.
See, it
And
sounds
then
like y'all.
after a game, I do like, man, I used to go eat with the team, and we'd go to a local place I worked at in high school, a Cajun. It's a pizza place that's kind of Cajun Italian, Dino's Pizza,
Ooh,
and
ooh.
the whole team goes there and tears it up. I hadn't been going a lot, so. But even then, I usually eat something. I'm getting old. I eat something kind of on the lighter side, and maybe have a few adult beverages or something. That's about it.
There you go. I'm kind of intrigued now. An Italian Cajun place.
If you
I'm
ever come to Lafayette, I'll take you there. You won't be disappointed.
I'm pretty intrigued. It's Coach. It sounds like pregame though, or even postgame. Sounds like y'all need to get some core power down there. Maybe these core power drinks of 26
Oh
grams of
man, those are
protein.
delicious.
Got the chocolate,
Yeah.
vanilla, the strawberry, banana. They're awesome. They're awesome.
Hey man, I look. The only problem is once you drink them, you won't drink any other protein drinks because they're that they taste
Exactly.
that good.
Exactly. Last question for you, Coach. How often? Let's be realistic. How often do you eat jambalaya? You thought it was going to be a
Jambalaya.
serious question. I got you.
Yeah, that's a good one. And so I cook a lot. I'm big into cooking, and mostly what I cook is, in fact, I was cooking before you guys called.
Uh-oh.
I have some friends coming over, and we're getting together and eating. But this is a Louisiana thing. Jambalaya, not too much. If you ask me, we're getting off of football here. Jambalaya is one of the hardest Cajun dishes to cook.
That's what I've heard.
You got to work it. You got to take it just to the point of burning. You got to watch it. I do cook a couple a year. My wife and my daughter and my son like jambalaya a lot. What I cook the most is gumbo. In fact, I participate in a gumbo cook-off down here every year and have a lot of fun doing that.
There you go.
So gumbo or chicken and sausage stew or something like that.
That's nice. I wasn't truthful. There's one more question.
Sure.
I do have to ask. You guys are on this run. You're winning championships. Have you thought about when to pass the torch? Has that ever come up, or are we just on a roll and we're going to keep going till the wheels fall off?
Well, there's a few avenues there that I think about. in no particular order. One is us, going up to 11 man,
Okay.
which would be just. I as the coach, I would like that a lot.
Yeah.
I have, I have a lot of friends that coach locally at 11-man programs, and naturally we talk a lot. So there's been, interest there at some level. But man, I'd hate, yeah, it's I've been there since the beginning, and when I think about leaving, I don't get good feelings inside. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. You guys are on a run, so. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. It's been good to talk to you. Good to get to know you a little bit in the team, and man, I'm excited. I'm hoping 446 broadcast the game Saturday again. I would love to watch it.
They usually do. I imagine that they will. It ought to be we're expecting a really tough game. We gotta. I can't wait to get to work tomorrow. We got a hard week of preparation ahead to get ready for ACS and everything that they've been doing. They're a good ball club. We know we got. We gotta come out and play our best ball if we have a chance to win.
Absolutely, absolutely, Coach. I appreciate you joining us, and looking
Thank
forward to
y'all
watching
so much.
the game
Thank
Saturday.
y'all what y'all are doing for 8-man football. I really appreciate it. A lot of coaches and kids working hard. Playing this sport, playing this brand of football, and you guys are bringing notoriety to it, and I can't thank y'all enough.
Appreciate that, Coach. It's a pleasure. It really is.
Sure.
These kids deserve it, Coach. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to watching Saturday. And who knows? Maybe we bring another one. Maybe we bring another one back to the home of the Guardians. See, I got it twice now. We're good.
There you go.
Coach, appreciate you.
Hey, thank y'all.
We'll see you. It's Coach Barrett Richard, head coach at JPG, John Paul the Great Academy there in Louisiana. And I got the ACEL Championship coming up this Saturday night against Acadiana. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Blake, good talk. Good talk with Coach Richard. First time having him on the show, and I hope it's not the last. I really enjoyed getting to know him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. I believe it's Saturday night in Alexandria. Yeah.
I don't know where it is. I know it's Saturday. I don't remember where what last year was.
I think it's the same place, which is in Alexandria. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's right.
As long as we can watch it. And like I said, once we found out for sure where it'll be broadcast, then we'll get all that info out to y'all, and that way y'all can tune in Saturday night and watch what I think will be the first championship game of the postseason. I think they're the first.
Yeah. Should mention, James, that Corning out of not AAA, it's the club level in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I actually did not know how it worked for their playoffs or whatever, but they just played the regular season. They picked the best team and declared them conference champs. So congratulations, Corning.
Congratulations, Corning. Pop the champagne.
or kid-friendly champagne, right?
The sparkling.
Yeah, the
juice.
sparkling water. Yeah.
Pop the confetti cannons. There you go.
Kids listen to the show, James. Come on now.
That's fair. I don't listen. I don't assume.
We're not promoting.
I'm not. I don't assume that anybody listens to the show, though. To be fair, I just assume we're a couple of knuckleheads on the phone going live on their. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, you know what they say about assumptions, right?
Yes.
We'll leave it there.
I got you. All right. Well, thank you to Coach Elliott and Coach Richard for coming on the show. I had fun talking to both of them. Between them, Blake, not a lot of football games lost. So it's a lot of winning between those two.
Yeah, a lot of winning.
A lot of winning. All right. So let's I know we've gone a little bit longer today with the two coaches. I do want to run through our top 5 coming up this week. Blake, yeah. I'll let you go first. What's your number 5?
Yeah, so I got to go with Acadiana and JPG.
There you go.
And the reason, I mean, number one, it's their state championship, but and I'll talk about it a little bit for those who are still listening. But um, the rankings are done for next week, and I'm trying to think. Sitting at 20, Acadiana with 2 losses. Granted, they're the only 2-loss team in. Here's what's at stake. They're the only 2-loss team within the top 25. Everybody else is either undefeated or is 1 loss. The reason why they are in the top 25 with 2 losses is because they lost to the number 4 team twice.
Who has
right?
not left the top 10, by the way?
Who has not left the top 10.
Yeah.
Now if Acadiana loses, not only do they lose the state championship game, which does matter to them. I'm not saying it doesn't. They lose the state championship, and they more than likely drop out of the top 25. Now, if the other way goes around,
oh gosh,
I mean, yeah, if the other way goes around, I mean, we're talking Acadiana somewhere top 15. JPG's probably free falling, and
I mean, they wouldn't leave the top 20. I don't think they'd leave the top 25.
well,
Maybe.
no, they won't. But it's like, well, it's kind of a doomsday scenario almost. But we'll see. We'll see. It should be pretty interesting. So,
My number 5 game, it's not a cop out, but I'm actually going to pick 2 games that are kind of clumped together. I'm talking about the Mid-South Christian League playoffs, Mid-South Christian Football League playoffs that are starting this upcoming weekend. And we'll have the scores for you on the scoreboard that we do every week. But Magnolia versus Pine Belt, obviously Pine Belt's going to handle that one. They handled it last night. The other one is Meridian and Sahi. And Sahi should handle it. But the reason it's my number 5 is it's the playoffs. You gotta put playoffs in your top 5. I mean, it's a chance to go win the big one. So my number 5 is the first round of the MSCFL playoffs. You've got Magnolia versus Pine Belt. That one you'll be able to watch on 8-Man Extreme Mississippi. And then Meridian versus Sahi, you'll be able to watch on, I think it's the Meridian Flyers Facebook page. They stream games live there. So both of those games will be live Saturday night in their playoffs. And then Faithful Explorers have the bye this upcoming week. So that's my number 5 is both of those games. Blake, you there?
hey, sorry, James.
You're good.
I was in a coughing spell right there. I'm still kind
gosh.
of.
Well,
Sorry.
here, let me give you a second. Drink some water. Let me
No,
go to.
you're good. You're good.
Well,
I'm good now, James.
All right. Let me do. Let me get my number 4 real quick.
Okay.
So my number 4. I'm gonna go with a little bit different. Again, a little bit different. I'm going Sandhills Classical Christian versus Community Christian in North Carolina. And let me explain why. So Sandhills 7-1. They are. Let me get it pulled up real quick. Sandhills 7-1. They are currently the number 17 team on our ranking. And I mean, they other than the loss to Cary, which was a big one, they've handled everybody else, just running through teams. And then you look at Community Christian, who started off the year on just an absolute tear, just handling business. And then they were on a little bit of a skid, a little 2-game skid, including the loss to Sandhills Classical, 50-30. They lose to Father Capodanno by 6. They get the win. They lose to Liberty Christian. They beat Father Capodanno last night, or Friday night rather. So this is a big one in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like I said, Community Christian 7-3, Sandhills 7-1. It's a big game. It's not in the Big 8, I think, is what the grouping is called for Arundel and Cary and all them. I think it's the other one, the CIC, Christian Independent Conference. But it's a big one in that one. So that's my number 4 game, Sandhills Classical Christian versus Community Christian.
Yeah, so I got to go back to Louisiana for mine. Um, Number 20 coming off a fresh loss. They're on the road against a team you do not want to play right now. Number 11, River Oaks, who's undefeated, coming off a win against an 11-man team. We saw them in Augusta. They kind of played out of 8-man this past weekend. And I mean, River Oaks is not a bad team at all. They beat.
They're a very good team, I will say.
Yeah, they already beat Briarfield earlier in the year. They beat Evangel, who was down at the time, and then they beat Prairie View, who was number 7 and undefeated at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good shot if River Oaks wins this game. They're in the top 10, maybe even top 5. We'll see.
That'd be big. And Claiborne coming off of the loss to Prairie View, first loss of the year for them. So
yeah, and that was in overtime too, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, it was in overtime. So plays to River Oaks' advantage a little bit. Claiborne coming, but also at the same time you could say, oh, Claiborne is, they're PO, they're mad they got that first loss, they're going to roll in. So that's a very interesting one. That's a big one. A lot of big games this week. My number 3 game, I'm actually going to go to Georgia. Westwood School and Citizens Christian, both 7-3, coming into this week. Both teams they've handled business this year. Obviously, like I said, they both have 3 losses. But let me back up. I want to pull up exactly who these losses were because I feel like they were common losses. Let's see, common opponents. So they both lost to Georgia Christian, they both lost to Sherwood Christian, and they both lost to Vidalia Heritage. So 3 teams that are in our top 25. 2 of them in our top 10. I'm sorry, Georgia Christian's not, but they're 2 losses to teams in our top 10. Georgia Christian sitting at number 28, so just outside of it. Both of these teams, it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight between them, and I'm excited for it. These are 2 teams that, I don't know that a whole lot of expectations were put on them maybe this year. Maybe I'm wrong, but they have absolutely rolled through this season, and I'm looking forward. This will be a big one Friday night. Westwood School and Citizens Christian.
Yeah, so for my next game, I'm going to go to the Eastern time zone. I'm going to stay there for a while. Give me Bradenton at Donahue Catholic. Donahue, their only loss on the year is, I believe, to Merritt Island. No, Foundation.
Foundation, yeah, that's what I was saying. Foundation for a 500 team, they had some huge wins earlier this season.
Yeah, they're not bad at all. Foundation's 6-3 on the year. Had a couple of losses, but and speaking of Foundation, they lost to Bradenton Christian. So little bit of common opponents right there. But
right.
I saw by Sunshine State, Sunshine State Athletic Association, SSAA. Let me correct myself there. They had Donahue number 1 in their poll, and Bradenton Christian was also up there. Man, if Donahue if they get this win, it's considered an upset in our books, and they're probably top 15 or guaranteed top 25. I can say that safely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my game. That's one of my games. So
I'm kind of cheating again for my number 2 game. Because I'm going to, again, go with 2 games. I'm bending the rules that we created a couple weeks ago. I'm actually going to go with the first round of the SEEC playoffs, the SEEC playoffs here in Tennessee, the Southeastern Extreme Conference. Chattanooga Patriots at Christian Community School and the Tennessee Heat at the Freedom Cowboys. Very interesting first round. Chattanooga Patriots played at CCS earlier this year. CCS only beat them by 8. Now, I know there's some cramping. There's some other things happening, but it was only by 8. And with the records, you would expect maybe CCS would beat them by a little bit more. CCS beat the Tigers, who's the number one seed in the South. They didn't get a chance to play Freedom, and they barely lost to South Haven, who was the number one seed in the North, and the top overall team. South Haven beat every team in the conference. So you would think CCS would have beat them by more. But rolling into this game, I think this game, Chattanooga, they're hot right now. They've won 3 out of 4. Everybody's kind of rolling. CCS, the last time they played an 8-man game in state was South Haven. That lost to South Haven back in September. Since then, they've had several weeks off. They've played 3 11-man games. They played Jacksonville Christian. So the back end of their schedule has been all over the place. But that's a big one. And then Freedom Cowboys hosting the Tennessee Heat. It's always a rivalry game. One game a year. They've got the Independence Bowl trophy up for grabs. Freedom only beat the Heat by 12, I think, when they played them first week of this season. And, once again, they get a chance to battle it out. I don't think the trophy's on the line, but they get the chance to battle it out in Huntsville. And the winners, of course, will move on in the playoffs. But that's my number 2 game of the week. It's actually 2 games, the SEEC playoffs here in Tennessee.
Yeah, for my next game, I'm gonna go to Virginia. This one's huge. Of course, we've had a couple of comments in the Facebook section talk about it. We've known about it for a while. Brunswick. This is actually a big interdivisional matchup. I believe it's Region 2 of them for them. They have a region championship on the line. Brunswick is on the road at Southampton, Cortland, Virginia. Brunswick, I'm trying to pull up their offensive stats. So Brunswick is averaging 47, while Southampton is averaging 54. Brunswick is their defensive rating is at 11. Southampton 16. This one should have some fireworks in it. Pretty good, solid brand of football here. If Brunswick wins, I mean, we're talking about maybe even a top 2 team. They could steal that number 2 spot from somebody.
Well,
and
and here's the wild thing. 3 top 25 teams are guaranteed to lose this weekend.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there's going to be a lot of movement this week. And I mean, think about if Southampton wins. I'm trying to think if Claiborne wins, Acadiana wins. We're talking about a completely different top 25.
Hang on, I think we lost him. Hold on. Can you hear me? Hang on. It's on my end. Say something, Blake.
Test 1 2.
There we go.
1
We're
2.
good. We're good.
Okay. Do I need to run that back?
No. You're good. It was right at the tail
Okay.
end. It was on my end. Yeah, no, that's. I love how many. I mean, let's. I might be miscounting. There's 2 unbeaten matchups. There's 2 1-loss matchups. And then there's a no loss versus 1 loss. There's some huge games this weekend, Blake.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, and I love every single one of these teams, these coaches, these games, these players. I love every single one of them. Blake, I think we have a unanimous number one. Number 1 game.
Yeah, we
got
it. Mm-hmm.
It's LSU Alabama 2011. It's the game that'll feed families. Blake, it's
Literally.
Carey. It's Carey, number 1. Rendell, number 2. It's crazy. The first year of the rankings, it just so happened that a preset game, and I talked about this last week when South Haven played the Tigers, preset game, and ended up being the 2 number 1 seeds and Seek playing. It's obviously happened with all these big games we're talking about this weekend. These are all preset games except for the playoffs. But this game was already preset, and then it just so happens to be our number one versus number two, Blake.
Yeah, and just to like bring some, a spitting image to this whole kind of thing. It's rare to even see like ranked matchups,
Right.
like more than 2 ranked matchups a week. But number 1 and number 2 happening. I mean, I didn't expect that to happen until like, okay, maybe next year. But in the first year of this, this poll, this model, I'm just at a loss for words, James.
Well, and you would think maybe it happened in the playoffs or the
Yeah.
championship or something like that. But we're getting a number 1 versus number 2 in the regular season. And granted, yes, it's because they're in the same conference, they're in the same setup, whatever. But, I mean, these are two teams that have rolled. Now, granted, Kerry gave us a couple scares with JP2 and Faith. Rendell's handled business. They had that game against Evangel, first game of the year in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
But both of these teams, man, they've handled business. This is going to be a huge one. I'll be tuning into Huddle Fan. If that's a way that I can watch the game live, you best believe I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
So, number 1, no doubt, Kerry and Rendell. Somebody's taking that first loss. And granted, Blake, this might be, whoever loses this game, that might be the quality loss to top quality losses.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think. It really depends, like how bad the loss is. I honestly think if Kerry or Rendell loses by 10 or less, the loser will be number 2, and I mean the winner is going to be number 1, obviously. But I feel like it's pretty safe to, unless it's like an absolute blowout, the loser will be safely in the top 2, which is not a bad, that's not a bad deal. I
can almost guarantee that it won't be a blowout. Blake, I know you like.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of these. What if the best ending for this game for these two teams is a tie? No, I'm kidding. It's not the best ending. That's not the best ending.
That's the worst ending.
Here's what needs to happen. We need. I don't care who wins that game. I just want to see a good game. I think we will.
Yeah.
We could go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overtimes. I'm here for it. I will sit there and watch.
Yeah.
I will sit there and watch every minute of it. It'll be a big one. It'll be a big one. So, a lot of good games happening. Go ahead, Blake.
James, I also think people don't realize how close this matchup is. So Rendell's 9-0, Kerry's 8-0. Kerry is 41.875 on offense. Rendell is 41.778.
Okay.
And on defense, Kerry is 12.75, and Rendell's 14. Kerry only has one more quality win than Rendell, and they have the same amount of top 25 wins. I mean, the poll that we just did, it's finished. It's finalized for this week. Both teams have a perfect score, a perfect score. This is
of 1.
I cannot express the pure insanity of this matchup. This is the first time this has happened in the first year of our rankings.
It's wild, dude. It's wild. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Gonna be some good ones. And honestly, I mean the other 8 games, technically 10 games, but the other games, listen. I'm gonna be glued. It's tough too because I'll be at one of these SEEK playoff games, but I'm gonna be glued to my phone too. Between live updates, Huddle Fan, man, I'm gonna be locked in Friday night. Kind of wish some of these games were Saturday, to be honest, but But yeah, no, this is huge. This is huge.
And real quick, I don't know if you saw, I sent it to you, James, over Facebook. A Rendell they did like a post game interview, and they kind of said like, this is words kind of gotten out about this matchup that this is the game that's going to feed families, figuratively and literally. That was mentioned in that interview. I don't know if you saw that or not, but
it is confirmed. 446 Sports. They have the YouTube channel. They got the Facebook page. They will be broadcasting JPG and Acadiana live Saturday night. So
a lot of good football.
A lot of good football that you'll be able to watch. I always try to squeeze this in right at the end. Sometimes I don't. By the way, Blake, I don't know if the name Doug Martin rings a bell. Did you see he passed away?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I usually try to squeeze this in at the end because I forget to do it. And as the music's playing, I'm like, oh gosh, got to get it in. So I'm going to beat it to the punch now. Big shout out to the Fairlife Core Power. Appreciate the partnership with them. Big shout out to the offensive and defensive player of the week last week, both from the Tennessee Tigers, Ethan Musser and Mason Waldy. Two young men that stepped up, helped the Tigers clinch that number 1 seed there in the South. But a big congratulations to both of those young men, and a big thank you to Fairlife Core Power Protein as well as Cornett Performance for sponsoring the show every single week. Again, on Instagram, it's at Cornett Performance. You could shoot them an email, cornettperformance@gmail.com. And a big thank you to them for both of them for being sponsors with us this season. That will do it for Extreme Talk. And if I could get the music to actually play right. Hang on. Wait for it. I might get it. You can hear it on my mic. All right, we're going no music. We're going cold exit. Big thank you to both of them for the sponsorship. Big thank you to Coach Josh Elliott, Coach Barrett Richard for coming on the show. Go watch a ball game this week, whether it's in person, whether it's live. Go check it out. But big thank you to everyone who listened today. For Blake Biggs, I'm James Shannon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, see ya.